Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about creating opportunities from thin air. But first, I want to teach you guys a magic trick. So, I'm going to teach you guys today how to make a wealthy guy really upset. But first, I got to give you guys some little background story so we can dive into that. So this is the Christmas party. So every single year, for all my friends, I throw a Christmas party. It's the one day a year that I can get everybody together, all my closest friends that I grew up with. It's a full day of debauchery and shenanigans, and essentially, we start the day off at Bob Evans. We get a party bus. We roll around. We go to Topgolf. We go to escape rooms, bowling, Topgolf, escape rooms. Yeah, pretty much that's all we do. And then we go to Japanese Steakhouse, and we go back to the place that we're hosting the party for the night, which is where we do our Secret Santa gift exchange. Everybody calls it the most legendary day of the year. Just kidding. The rules of the Christmas party. Number one, it has to get crazier every single year. Number two, the price of the gift for the gift exchange must increase each year. And number three, you must be incredibly jolly like Derek here on the right. He's receiving a crossbow, so he's really pumped. And then Preston over there on the far right receiving the Jesus toaster. So this is the Christmas party. And me being the commissioner of the Christmas party, I felt a strong duty that I needed to be responsible to make it crazier this year. It was the last year, guys, that we were going to be able to do it in Ohio. That's where we're all from. And so I was like, all right, how can I make this crazy? So I found the largest mansion that we could in Ohio. And basically the plan was we were going to try to host our Christmas party in this guy's mansion. So this is not like one for rent. It's just a random person's mansion. And so he's inside. He lives in our neighborhood. We've been mystified by this thing since we were in like 6th grade. So all my friends, we talk about this mansion. We kind of stalk the mansion. We've been like trying to trick or treat there since we were like 5. So we've been trying to figure out who owns this for a long time. And so this is where it comes to this 3-step process. I'm really good at these 3-step processes. Number 1, locate the owner. So actually I had my cousin, he's here today. We both looked on the county auditor's website. We looked up the deed of the house, the trust of the house, and we found the guy who owns the place. And then we researched him a ton. We figured out his favorite cigar. We figured out what charities he's involved with, his business, everything about this person we knew. And then it brings us to step number 2, which is creating an unignorable pitch video. So we made this video for this guy. It's like super customized. It's like got all my friends in it, talking about all this like his favorite stuff, it's very, very customized. I wish I could show you guys it, but you'll see why I cannot in a few minutes. And yeah, step 3 is getting the video to the target. So this part's actually kind of tricky. We have to implement what I like to call sleeper agents. So obviously wealthy, powerful people, they're tougher to get in touch with than your average person. So of course we tried his social medias and things like that first. It didn't work. He did not respond. And so a sleeper agent is a spy who is placed in a target country or organization not to undertake an immediate mission, but to act as a potential asset if activated. So my sleeper agent in this scenario was his daughter. I found this guy's daughter on social media, and I slid in her DMs. So I said, hey, name, I'm a former Buckeye from Columbus, Ohio area. She happens to be a Buckeye fan. So that's why I said that. Had to do a little soft flex on him. Big game this weekend, ... I had a quick question for you when you get a minute. That gives him the intrigue. Now she's like, oh, I wonder what he's going to ask. Then I diffuse it a little bit with also, are you from Ohio too? So I'm just giving you guys the psychology behind it. It's really, really impressive DM. So I warm her up. We start talking a little bit. Everything's going great. Finally, I tell her why I'm reaching out, and I send her the video. Her reaction was incredible. It was literally hook, line, and sinker. She responds back. She's like, ha, 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 ha. Dude, I am dying watching this, or dude, I'm watching this and dying. He's a paramedic. This is incredible. My dad is going to love this. The only weird part is I've never seen that house before, ... We grew up in Florida. So I'm sitting there like most of you guys. I'm like, that's weird. That is really weird. And she's like, yeah, you probably ruined my life. Like, what if he has like a secret mistress? Like, she said that jokingly. I'm like, oh yeah, haha, like that'd be weird. So I confirmed it was the correct owner of the house. We double checked. The daughter still shared the video with him. I was blocked on everything shortly after this. And yeah, I'm not sure what we uncovered. We can speculate on this later on. We don't have a lot of time right now. But yeah, as you can see by my brother sitting on Santa's lap, that was kind of my face during this. But Merry Christmas. It's safe to say we did not host the Christmas party in the mansion. We had it in an Airbnb this year. But guys, the reason I'm telling you that is because I make these videos sometimes for people. That's how I reach out to them. And I make them like epic. So like when this guy watched this video, there's no chance he was not going to not respond unless something absolutely, like, I don't know. We can speculate later on. But today I'm going to teach you guys 3 things: the art of getting in touch, selling the vision, and replicating success. So the art of getting in touch, guys. It is an art, not a science, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I mean by that is clearly the daughter loved the video that I sent. However, the father was potentially life-threatening to him. So again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Here's an example. Most of you guys think the picture on the right is a good picture. My mom and myself, however, we feel the picture on the left is also pretty good. It's my macaroni art from 2nd grade. So again, guys, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. When you're doing outreach, whoever's perceiving the message, it's up to them if they like it. It's not up to the person that created it, whether it's good or not. So when you're doing outreach, there's kind of like 2 sides to the spectrum. I created another scientific graph for you guys, time and effort. And basically, on the left side, we have fully automated. On the right side, we have insanely personalized. So it takes a lot of time and effort to make an incredibly personalized message. Doesn't take as much to do fully automated. However, most people think you have to choose one or the other. If you guys want to cover all your bases in sales, it is important to have a good mixture. You can do some stuff that's fully automated. You should do a lot that's insanely personalized, and then you should do some that's in between. But today, I'm going to be talking about the insanely personalized, because judging off my LinkedIn, you guys know how to spam the shit out of people already. So I'm not going to talk about the fully automated side. Fully automated things like VAs and LinkedIn bots and email bots and all that stuff. A lot of that's focused on ROI, and people are thinking like, well, I paid my virtual assistant $3.50 an hour for 2 weeks. I gotta get an ROI on that. I gotta get a sale. But insanely personalized messages are focused on relationships. So I want you guys to start thinking in terms of return on relationship instead of return on investment. So again, people, stop spamming people on LinkedIn. Step 1 of the art of getting in touch is identifying the target. So people overcomplicate this. Just ask yourself the right question. So who is the one person that if I could convince to do business with me, everything else would fall into place? That's like if you guys are trying to do business with someone. If you guys want to get clients, you could ask yourself, who is my most ideal client that if I could serve them well, I would be able to replicate success for others like them? So just ask yourself the right question. And then step 2 is be impossible to ignore. So I included a picture of a battery here because energy, and I wanted to remind you guys of like the more energy and effort you put out into the universe, the more energy and effort will likely get reciprocated back to you. So I have a secret formula for being impossible to ignore. That is, first, relates to energy and effort. And to give you guys like a tangible example of like the level of energy and effort you need to put into the outreach, like imagine, this is how deep I've gone before. So if I'm making a personalized video to someone and I'm researching this person on Instagram or whatever, I'll be scrolling through their page, and like if I find that they went to like a Taylor Swift concert 6 months ago and they love this specific song, I will use that song as the outro part to the video. Like you got to think on that level for creativity, energy, and effort. It just shows that you put a lot into it. The person's going to be, in some cases, really creeped out, or they're not even going to notice, and it's going to be a good subliminal message. And then the second piece, guys, is humor and charm. Humor and charm is super, super important. If you don't have any humor, it becomes too serious. People like humor. It kind of cuts the tension a little bit. And then charm just means you can compliment the person. You can give them, pay them respect. Obviously, you're reaching out to them. But don't do it in a way that's like super needy. You guys don't want to look like you're begging this person for something. Charm is like just the perfect medium between being able to compliment someone but not seeming like overly aggressive. Like if you're complimenting a girl and you're like, oh my God, you're so hot or you're so pretty, you just look like a weirdo. So don't do that. And then status and clarity is the last piece of it. Status, basically what that means, you guys want to come off like you're a high status individual. Just put something in it that shows that you're a respectable human, someone that they would want to do work with. And then lastly, clarity. This one's super important. Jeff mentioned we went and met up with Jesse Itzler one time because I made him a personalized video just like this. Jesse told Jeff and I to come down to Atlanta, come to one of his events, and then Jeff and I got a business meeting with him. And then the business meeting, Jesse's like, okay, so what do you want from me? And I was like, nothing. I just wanted to meet him. I just was like wanted to hang out down there. I had no purpose for meeting with him. So at the time, I was like you don't want to make the other person, the person that you're reaching out to, guess what you want or have to come up with something that you want. You need to provide exactly what it is that you're after and not have people guessing. Step number 3 is relentless pursuit. So in the art of getting in touch, you have to be seen. So the rule is you cannot stop until your message has been seen, especially if you spent a lot of effort making it. So the thing you do when you're reaching out to people, start with their social medias. If that doesn't work, then you go to your sleeper agents. Please treat your sleeper agents well. They are just as important to the mission as the main target. So if you're going with a sleeper agent, make sure you give them value. And then the way to choose the right sleeper agent is think about people who are close to the main target or close to the person, but not, they don't have all the barriers to entry. So make sure you guys are finding the right people who are close and connected to them. Those people can help get your message seen. Next, don't give up until it's been seen. Once it has been seen, you guys can do one follow-up, but if they see it and they don't respond, just leave them alone. You guys put a ton of energy and effort into it. That should show. And then move on. So you only need 1 out of literally 10 of these things to work for you to have a pretty life-changing experience. Like Jeff and I went and met up with literally, like Jesse's sold multiple companies for hundreds of millions of dollars. His wife's a billionaire. And that was 1 out of 1. Like that was the first video I'd made. Okay, moving on to selling the vision. So most people, when they're pitching anything, they sell from the neocortex. So there's a picture of a brain. There's 3 parts of the brain. I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but basically, people overcomplicate things. People pitch stuff from the neocortex. They use too much detail. The problem is people receive things through the croc brain. So the croc brain operates very, very simple. It's either things are exciting, simple, new, and non-threatening, and it will listen, or it's just going to ignore everything else. So you have to be in that green box there on the left, or else you're going to get ignored. So in order to sell a vision properly, step 1 is painting the picture. I have a picture of Bob Ross here for a very specific reason. Do you guys know who Bob Ross is? Absolute legend. Thank you. So I have Bob Ross. I feel like Bob Ross is a more loved artist than Picasso or anybody else. And the reason being is Bob Ross teaches you how to be a painter. He lets you participate. He makes people feel good. If you watch him on Netflix at night, he may make you feel sleepy. But basically what Bob Ross does is he creates the outline and he has other people paint inside of it. So in order to sell a vision, what I'm getting at is you want to be the person that creates the outline. You want to have the person you're pitching color it in. The way you do this is you ask really good questions, and then you let the person come to the right conclusions. So your question should build a bridge in someone else's mind to get them from where they are now to where they want to be. So your question should literally be the bridge that creates the outline of, hey, this is where I'm at now, this is where I want to be, and then your questions are that bridge. Your questions are what gives the color to the picture. Step 2, this is the last step in selling the vision. It's really simple, guys. You paint the picture and you hold the frame. So holding the frame, this is really, really important Because frames are mental structures that shape how you see the world. They are your particular, specific perspective on the world, and they regulate how people interact with one another. So if I have a specific frame, I think one way about the world, you think a totally different way about the world, and we're not looking at a problem or a question from the same point of view, we're going to collide, and we're not going to be able to see the same vision. So only one person in any situation can hold the frame, and in order for you guys to sell anything properly, you have to be the one that's holding the frame. So the way you guys can figure out, like, okay, we're in a conversation, who's holding the frame here? The person that's reacting to the other person is the one that has the frame. So if I'm reacting to you, you have the frame. If you're reacting to me, because I'm on stage or whatever, now I have the frame. So whoever is reacting to who, that's how you determine who has the frame. And yeah, it's just really, really important. To drive this home, there's a book called Pitch Anything. The entire book's about framing when you're pitching stuff. So write down the book Pitch Anything. That's super, super important for sales. If you don't have the frame, you literally can't sell anything. So again, when you're selling any type of vision in life, you have to hold the frame. Moving forward, we have replicating success. So we have Plankton over here on the left, trying to steal the secret formula. That is because the Krusty Krab has created a great secret formula. And just like Coca-Cola, they also have a secret formula. Secret formulas are very crucial to success in business. And you guys need to create your own secret formulas within your own companies. And what do I mean by that? Another 3-step process. So we have documenting, testing, and tracking, and refining. So this is how you create any process within your business. It's super, super simple. Number one, document. Document everything you got. If you have rules within your company, if you have standard operating procedures, if you have specific frameworks you want your employees to go off of, just document everything you have, because that's the very first step, which leads you to number 2, which is testing and tracking. If you don't have things documented, you can't test and track. Testing and tracking, that's things like KPIs, call recordings, how you do your outreach, all of that jazz. So make sure that you guys document and you test and track, because the third step is refining it. So you take your tracking and you can make data-informed decisions. You can essentially take all the tracking that you've done and then refine the processes that you've built in the beginning. So this is literally the cogs on the wheel to build a secret formula. So I'm going to leave you guys with 5 things you guys need for your sales process. I just chose these 5 because I feel like they're the most important if you're creating a company or a sales process at all to start. First thing would be a CRM. You just need a CRM if you're doing anything in sales at scale. So get a CRM and make sure you have training and proper lead management. So Tom touched on that a little bit. The data is so, so important. If you don't have the right data and you're not marking it properly, it is going to be really detrimental to your company. So we use a CRM called Close. You guys can write that and use it if you want. It's a good one. Outreach processes would be the second thing from start to finish. Third thing I would do is I would create sales and discovery scripts. So just sales scripts, because sometimes you're having a bad day. You want to fall back on questions that you've wrote up before the call. And then also objection handling, super important. And then the last thing would be KPIs for performance tracking, and then a home for all of these processes. So we use a tool called Notion. That is our home base for every process we have within our company. It is super, super important to have an area for your employees to go to find the information that they need to be successful. So there's a picture of a sandbox on the screen right there, because I want you guys to think, if you're a business owner, you should think about your job is to create the sandbox, and then your employees can play within the sandbox and you equip them with the right tools to be successful. So your job is to create the outer structure and then let people be creative within your sandbox. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to have systems and processes because it's going to kill creativity. That's just being really lazy. You need a certain amount of structure, and then people can have free reign within that structure. So again, guys, here's the nuggets that I gave you. We went over the art of getting in touch. So that is identifying the target, being impossible to ignore, not giving up till you're seen, and then we went over selling the vision, which is painting the picture and holding the frame. And then finally, replicating success, which is documenting, testing, and tracking, and refining your process. Again, I told you guys, I'm the 3-step wizard. We got go. Okay, so literally this is, if I were to give you guys 3 things to go do in your sales process right now, it would be these 3 things. First of all, pick someone you guys have always wanted to get in touch with and create an epic video message for them. Think about putting a ton of energy and effort into it. It doesn't have to be for sales. You don't have to be trying to sell someone anything. Like, if you guys aren't business owners out there, literally go out, pick someone that you want to get in touch with, and go create a cool video and go have an experience with that person. Number 2 would be, before your next call with anyone, spend time crafting 3 questions that will guide the conversation in a specific direction. If you guys are in sales or have anything to do with a business, this will help you. Also read the book Pitch Anything. And then third and final, create a Notion account. Even if you're a non-business owner, create a Notion account, because you can literally learn how to create systems and processes just by playing around in that little system. So Notion is like an open source, basically it's like a database, but you can create different pages for different things. And I highly suggest you guys check it out. It's super, super valuable software and tool. It's online, it's free. That's how you can create documents for your teams and trainings and all that good stuff. So again, for my final act, if I ever disappear completely, like off the face of the earth, I will most likely be in the basement of this mansion. So please come find me. Thank you guys. Buy some crypto.